Hi, and welcome back to week 2. Hope I haven't lost anybody. It's a bit soon to be dropping off, so I want you to write in your journals that you're really motivated to do this and you're going to commit to it. And even if it's just quickly pop in and just grab the worksheets for the week, and come back and do the videos and audios whenever you can. Even the worksheets by themselves, the questions by themselves will be enough to help you start digging deep, start seeing those freedom thieves, and start busting out of your cage. So promise you'll do that. Okay, because this week is a golden cage inventory. This is important because in order to understand where we are, we have to understand how we got there. So this is one of those weeks that we're going to start looking at the past. So I know some of you might be wanting to jump right in and be like, I want to change right now. I don't want to look at the past. But that's what's part of the problem, is that we're cutting off vital parts of ourselves. We're not looking deeper. We're not picking these things apart. We're not going at it from a place of forgiveness, which will be very heavily prominently featured in this course. But not just forgiving other people, but also forgiving yourself for not being the person you thought you were, forgiving yourself for doing things that you didn't want to do, forgiving things for doing things that you didn't think that you as a person would do. And that could be anything from actual something you really, really regret, like too much drug and alcohol abuse, or even something smaller, like I'm not the type of person who would never have said to someone, I'm going to be there on Friday night, and then I didn't go. This is... And often people beat themselves up just as much over the Friday night as over the drug and alcohol abuse. We are not very nice to each other, and this is something, or to ourselves in particular, and this is something that the course really wants to look at. We want to look at the judgment, we want to look at the freedom thieves, we want to look at how people are actually coming at us and trying to push an idea upon what life should be, this golden cage of how we're supposed to behave, and how we get stuck in it. And to do that, to start with it, we need to do a golden cage inventory. We need to know what our golden cage presently looks like. And if you did the free course, and if you haven't, go back and do it, because it is a fantastic way of getting the foundation done. We're going to go deeper again than what we did in the free course. So yes, what is making us feel safe? This is actually something very important that we're going to look at, because in order for us to let it go and move on to a creative and vibrant and aligned life, which is something that we all want, we need to go really deep, and we need to find out what's keeping us stuck. And even if our particular cage is more rust plated than golden, there's something there that's making us feel safe, that's keeping us from changing, that's telling us at least here is better than out there. And that's essential, because of course this is why we get so stuck in change, and why we can't change, because we think that, well, if change is easy, it should be easy. That's a lie we tell ourselves. That's a freedom thief right there. Change is not easy. It's never easy. Even change you want, your brain is wired not to change, because you know how to react. Your brain's going still from caveman days. What if we die? What if we change something and someone comes and eats us? Because we had no idea what the predators were like out there. And so our brain really tells us, as long as we're alive here, we're good. So your brain will kill you, at least on a soul level, in order to keep you alive on a physical level. And this is something that we need to deal with on a regular basis. And unfortunately, we're not often taught how to do that, because often, like I said, we're taught instead how to shine our cages. This is how marketing comes in. This is how people sell money, make lots of money, and sell stuff to us. So we part with our money so they make lots of it, by preying on these very insecurities that are keeping us locked in a cage. And then when we actually threaten to break out, then our freedom thieves jump in and get us to actually shine those cage up, and going with, well, you know what, at least you have a job, at least you are able to buy food, you might not be happy, but at least. And all these things are your freedom thieves telling you things to create your golden cage, and you need to understand what particular freedom thieves you have and what your golden cage looks like before you can start figuring out a plan to bust out. Because it's like anything, if you don't actually know the map of the place, you're going to get caught again and brought back to your jail cell on the way out if you don't actually have a good escape plan. So this is what we're talking about today, because we want to make sure that by looking at the past, we can build the future, and without the past catching up to us and tearing that down, because this is often what happens. We do so much surface level work because we're so used to shining our cages. We're not used to going deeper. We're not used to finding people telling us, well, yeah, sure, that's great that you're able to do this week, but why do you want to do this? And how are you going to do this? And what does this mean for the long run and the future and your values, and who are you as a person? And these are all really sometimes scary things. So it's okay if you're like, like we're all, and that's okay. That's basically what cage busting is about. It's about getting out there and being like, I'm okay to be blah, you know, because eventually the blah will go away because I'm sitting with it, I'm examining it, I'm journaling on a regular basis, I'm sitting with it on the yoga mat, you know, I'm moving through the meditations, and I'm reading books about other people who've been through it. Not necessarily self-help books, though some of them really are fabulous, but books that actually go through the mess and teach us how, because we've been so often relying on the fairy tales from Disney and the new versions of this whole sanitized part where we take away our power. It has us go from people who need to be rescued by other people, and the glossed over the hard parts, and the fun part comes, you know, where it's lots of singing, and that's fun and it's fine, but we have to understand that real fairy tales are actually much darker and ickier and are not so clear cut in the endings, other than someone comes out much stronger. And if you're willing to take that power, you can be a very strong individual, and that's very scary. This is why people often say, you know, that you're actually more afraid of the power you have than anything else, because all of a sudden you become a person that you're like, whoa, I can stand on my own. I can see I've got lipstick on my chin and leave it there. And leave this video, because you're like, you know what, in the end, what does lipstick on a chin mean who I am as a person, other than I'm really super excited? And that's vulnerable, though. That's really leaving you out there of, well, she's passionate about this, which means I can take pot shots. Maybe you won't, but that's a freedom thief. You know, a freedom thief is jumping in there going, whoa, you know, once you open up like that, once you crack open, you know, it's the whole shell thing. It's your crab with that thick layer, but he needs to molt, you know, if he wants to grow, he's pushing up against that protective layer of hard shell that he needs to lose and expose himself for a period of time with a very soft shell, in which case, you know, part of this course is also teaching how to protect yourself within these soft shells, so don't worry about that. But you know, you have that exposure that you then need to learn how to protect, so you can have the hard shell again. But eventually the hard shell will again be too small, and you'll have to break out of that again, and the cycle just keeps going and going. The difference is that you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more into who you are as a human, and you can embrace that. So that went a bit further than I wanted, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it in there, because in the end, I think it's important that we need to be able to see the bars in our life, and we need to go and figure out how they were built, what are they built of, what are freedom thieves whispering to us, why we get status and happiness and a sense of security and safety, if not happiness, from shining those bars. And sometimes too, the important thing to remember too is that sometimes the bars are so tight we don't even realize they're there, and you know, we feel kind of completely blocked in. And if this is you, that's also okay. There is always a way out, don't forget that. And so I would just say that take a deep breath, you'll be okay. And let's go through this together. Let's get this golden cage inventory done, and then we can figure out what we need to change, because looking back can be scary, but it actually is very empowering as well, knowing what needs to be done. And this is often what makes us so head in the sand. It feels safer, but in the end it's not. Your financial situation, your romantic situation, your career situation, it does not matter. Pretending to yourself that it doesn't exist doesn't erase it. And trust me, I've been there, I've tried it. So this course, we're going to look at that. This module, sorry. We're also going to be looking at, I need to double check up here, finding your duality, discover your golden cage bars. This is fabulous. This is part of the heroine's journey, and this is the light and the dark, finding out how you can embrace both. The caveman brain, learning to see caveman brain, how they reinforce the bars, a little bit we just touched upon. We're going to go really deep into that in this module, and then we're going to keep continuing on mapping out the heroine's journey. So get ready, jump in, don't be too nervous. See you in there soon.